on YouTube later, so some of you might have to authorize that. I know that a lot of people who couldn't be here were interested. So welcome everyone to Calming Your Nervous System with Grooving Goddess. I'm going to share an image because right off the bat, I want to show you the vagus nerve and how it runs through the body. So as you can see, it starts up here at the base of the spine. And I want to let these two people in. There we go. All right. Great. Welcome everybody who's coming in. I'm getting started and I have the recording going. So this yellow represents the largest nerve that runs through the body for the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system, as you might imagine, because it kind of sounds like automatic, what that does is it runs everything in your body, basically, in your internal organs. So you have your hearing tied into it. It actually affects taste. And then this vagus nerve goes all the way down in the body and has little sensors on all your organs. So this is part of why when we are having anxiety or a panic attack or we're frightened or we're heartsick, we will feel it in all of these areas of the body because it is affected by all this. And likewise, any activity in any of these areas of the body, including sound, can send messages back to the brain, which can make us uncomfortable. Welcome everybody new popping in. Yay, everything's working great. So, you know, as you can see right off the bat, that vagus nerve has tremendous control over our bodies and over how our bodies respond to stress. Another fact that I found fascinating is that your vagus nerve only spends 10% of its energy sending instructions and 90% of its energy and sensors receiving feedback from your body, from all the areas which I showed, your ears, your sense of taste to some degree, your breathing, your heart rate, all of your digestion. So you can imagine why when your fight or flight is triggered by the Schumann resonance or your limbic system is triggered, it can make it really difficult. There she is. Welcome, Heather. It can make it really difficult for your body to regulate. And that's why you get that feeling of, you know, butterflies in your stomach, or people, you know, want to throw up before they go on stage, or there we go. I'm just making everybody quiet for the recording. Okay. I'll let everybody talk in the Q&A. So it makes it very difficult to regulate your system when the fight or flight system is triggered and your limbic system, whether it's stimulated by external stimuli, disturbing thoughts, or that Schumann activity, which can do that to you as well. There's also, you know, illnesses and PTSD. PTSD sort of hardwires your brain as the traumas occur when you're younger to have these pathways that sort of automatically go to running from tigers, right? A little bit about fight, flight, or freeze, because I only knew there was freeze a few years ago, so I just want to go over that really quickly. When we talk about fight, flight, or freeze, we are talking about our body's neurological response to danger or perceived danger. Therein lies the trick, right? Because our brain can't always tell what really is danger or not anymore, because we do not live in a world where we are constantly in the midst of intense survival. Although I know sometimes it feels like that these days, but we're not running from tigers. A dinosaur is not going to come step on us or anything. So, we don't need that response all the time. But if someone were coming up behind you, that response would go off so that your body would release adrenaline and cortisol so that your brain could function and your body could run like hell from whatever was trying to chase you. So when they talk about a deer in headlights, right, that is an example of freezing. A lot of people don't talk about this, and not to go off on a tangent about that, but it comes up a lot in assault cases because they'll be like, well, it didn't say anything, it didn't move. Yeah, because they were frozen in fear, like a deer is when they see headlights coming at them, right? And then, let's see, flight, fight, or freeze. So, flight, run away, fight, obviously, fight. And then that freeze. So it can manifest in so many different ways in you if you have that. So what I really wanted to talk to you about, other than to let you know that I am in what I would call recovery from PTSD. Like, you never fully get rid of it, I don't think, when you're hard. And some of us are just hardwired to be the watchers of the tribe from very old DNA and biological preservation programming that's just in our biology. It's not even a mental thing. It's a mechanism. Just like it makes us scared to do anything that's different than the group. Like, part of being so attracted to that group mentality is a deep survival instinct that we all have, because in the olden times, separation from the herd could mean death. So that is a lot of what's behind imposter syndrome and things like that too, is that we're like, oh, well, I can't step out, I can't stand out in any way, because then otherwise I'm separating from the herd. And so that alarm bell is going off in our brain saying, no, don't put yourself out there in front of other people, because you're going to get it. Or don't not watch the movie everybody's watching, or just whatever it is, anything that's outside of the middle of that bell curve of people, right? So for me, what happened is, what year was that? So for a whole bunch of reasons, which you can listen to on Sarah Forney's lovingly recorded, very long story about me. I had a lot of things that put my PTSD into such an intense mode by 2009 that I needed an Ativan just to go to Walmart. I would, be in full PTSD mode. Every stranger was a threat. My fight or flight was just, always firing. And thankfully, I managed to get out of poor Heath Ledger's accidental overdose that because of some other medications that I have to take. If I had been tired one night or just made one mistake and taken one extra pill by accident, it could have killed me. So I have been abstinent from all tranquilizers and those sorts of medications. Now, this is not me saying that if you need those, that's a bad thing or you shouldn't take them. It's just in my case, I had so many other things going on with my body and medications that I had to take that it made it really unsafe for me. But what that did is it forced me to go, deep and heal my trauma. It forced me to learn how to reprogram myself, how to control my fight or flight response. So all of that I've worked on for the last, 10 to 12 years is why I'm at the point now where very little turns that on for me. And most of the time I can get to my rational mind and tell it, okay, you're feeling anxiousness, but is there a real reason? And if the question is no, then I ask myself, okay, are you tired? Are you hungry? Are you lonely or sad about something? Is the Schumann resonance going off like a rocket? Because that definitely has an effect. And usually it's one of those things that I can say, okay, yeah, that thing is happening. Because what happens when we have that physical sensation of anxiety, but there's nothing to assign it to, our brain that is very efficient will dig and dig and dig and dig. We'll dig and dig and dig down into your history looking for something to assign that anxiety or that fight or flight response to, right? So that's what what your brain does is it goes through and it finds all of that to assign a feeling to, rather than being able to just say, I just am feeling strange and I'm going to do some things about it. So I want you all to do a little exercise with me at home. Don't worry, it won't make you pass out or anything. And I'll get back to passing out in a minute, because that's some of the ways that the vagus nerve can affect you. But I just want to show you this little thing that I learned, and you can do it sitting up. I just did it to test it and see if it works. You can also do this lying down, and that's how they recommend it. But if you're trying to reset your vagus nerve, so let's say you've had a trigger or some sort of experience with anxiety or panic attack, or just a real momentary problem, or maybe like it's depression and you're just feeling it particularly intensely. All you do is you take your fingers and lace them together behind your neck. And I know this seems so simple and like, how could this possibly work? But just trust me, don't look at the computer, and you don't have to close your eyes, because we're actually going to be looking with our eyes. So first, I want you to look to the right, and you're going to stay looking to the right until you have to yawn. And then back to center. And then this time we're going to look to the left and do the same thing and just hold it until you start to feel that desire to yawn well up in your body. So it is wild to me and so illustrative of how powerful that vagus nerve is and how powerful all of that is as it runs through your body. Now, you actually have two of them. There's a right one and a left one, but since they just sort of, meet on their way down, everybody just calls it a vagus nerve. I'm going to exit full screen on that, and I want to go over a couple of things here. All right, so move this over so I make sure I don't lose anyone. So damage to your vagus nerve or it not working properly can result in difficulty speaking, loss or change of voice, difficulty swallowing, loss of the gag reflex, low blood pressure, slow heart rate, changes in the digestive process, nausea or vomiting, abdominal bloating or pain, and depression and anxiety. It can also, over time, cause a condition called gastroparesis, which is where your body starts having extreme difficulty digesting food and not regurgitating or having reflux or having abdominal pain. Let's see. And then there's also a certain kind of fainting or passing out, back to that, vasovagal syncope. Syncope is just a fancy word for dizziness and fainting. So with that fainting that can come with the vagus nerve not functioning properly, you may feel warmth, nausea, tunnel vision, ringing in the ears, excessive sweating, low blood pressure, slow or irregular heartbeat. So there are devices that one can employ to use for vagal nerve stimulation, but there are so many ways to easily do it yourself that I would think that's really a last resort. Like if you are suffering from so much severe PTSD or panic attacks, or you have some sort of physiological, nerve damage. Now, for me, I think part of the reason this comes into play so severely, and it's funny knowing all this now, but when I was a small child, I used to cry and then pass out. And they did all kinds of tests and didn't know what was wrong. And I think it's because the way my neck is positioned, it puts pressure on that vagus nerve. So aside from the resetting method that I showed you, some of the things that we can do to help calm our nervous system when things are making us stressed or anxious or triggering our fight or flight, or we just feel kind of crummy, or we feel like, our internal organs aren't doing their job right. If you are in panic attack mode, food, eating a good meal, making the stomach full, that helps send messages through the vagus nerve to your brain that everything is fine and that you can calm down now. Breathing, of course, very simple rhythmic breathing that you can get away with doing at your desk at work or in the supermarket or anywhere you may be feeling a little bit lightheaded or panicky or anxious or whatever it is that you're feeling that you feel like is nervous system related. So very simply, you just breathe in for 4 and out for 4, and you don't have to count out loud. But I'm going to do it with you just for a little bit so that you can see what it feels like and how we're trying to get into that breathing pattern. So in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. It's that simple. And if you pause and take note, even as you're walking through a store or whatever it is you're doing, even if you're having to be active, just breathing in and breathing out slowly and rhythmically like that for about a minute will calm that whole nerve structure so that your body stops sending those signals to your brain through the vagus nerve, and so the vagus nerve stops sending signals saying, alert, alert, something to worry about. Let's see, yawning, which came up because of the reset. You might notice when you do breathing, like different forms of deep breathing to try to relax that area of your body, that you yawn anyway. And that's just a sign that your body wants more oxygen. When you have the time, or if you are really, really overstimulated, you can take the breathing a step further and breathing deeply in through the nose. You want to fill up your lungs down into your, fill up with air down into your belly as much as you can, like you are a bellows. In through the nose, and when you get to the top of that breath, you just pause and hold it for a moment. And let it out. And as you work with that and get used to that, if you can build up to literally holding your breath for 20 seconds or so, before you release it. Just the action of expanding the diaphragm and those muscles and making all of that area tensed and able to get in touch with all of those internal organs at one time, it sends those messages through the vagus nerve back to your brain that you're totally fine and there's nothing going on that's, you know, a crisis. Whale song, which is why we have the whales in the background. I'm going to put that picture up again because some people came in later. I think it's that one. Nope. There we go. Full screen. That was silly of me, and share. Hi, Odie. So you see how it has auricular branch. The vagus nerve is tied in with the hearing. That was part of what we showed in the beginning. I just wanted to make sure I got that in there. So the whale song, it's sonic healing anyway. And it doesn't have to be whale song. It could be other soothing nature sounds that are soothing to you. But the whale song in particular has a frequency that really does just calm you right down. It calms your whole system, especially if you listen to it when you're in a bathtub. Another thing you can do to quickly calm the vagus nerve is put cold water on your face. Coughing. Say you're, of course, right now nobody wants to cough in public. Bad joke. But coughing can help you to reset that really quickly. So just like a little will stimulate this area where those vagal nerves are. And then lastly, my favorite is singing or making tones, singing along to your favorite song, singing the ABCs if you're really having a moment and can't think of anything. And then I'm going to show you an exercise that's actually a vocal exercise, but it helps by moving sound up and down your body, and that also stimulates the vagus nerve to calm down. So the way it goes is you're not really trying to sing, you're just making sound. And so if you feel like doing this at home and trying along with me, nobody will hear you unless they're sitting next to you. But you take in a really nice breath, and then starting up at the top register, just throw it away. You're not trying to sing, you're not trying to sound pretty, you're just making sound. But you'll notice as you make the higher tones, it's up here and then it moves down your body, down to your root chakra, and then back up again. You can also do it the other direction where we start down at the bottom. So that's about all I have to say about that for now. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. If anybody wants to turn on their microphone, or half that list is my life. I know, Summer. Me too some days. If anyone wants to turn on their camera, their mic, it's totally fine. Just let me know in the chat or something. But what I'm going to do now, and I am going to turn my lights down a little just so that it's not quite so bright on the screen. We're going to go into the consciousness anchoring, and I will explain to you what that is and what I'm going to do. In a one-on-one setting, I would take you to yes, Odie, it definitely is. in a one-on-one consciousness anchoring, I would take you as part of the process to the Nemesis library where the books of consciousness are for everybody, and give that to you. But that's not something that I'm going to be able to do in group sessions. But what I can do is take you through a brief, I think I can do it in 15 minutes, 15-minute journey where we expand out our love energy. I create a love sphere around us with you, and we hug the earth, and then we'll go out into space to see what that feels like to be our, what I call our Titan size. You know, we can be any size we want, great or small, in that energetic form, but most of us kind of have a set point. I actually did this with Serafina yesterday, and she was really, she was like, it's nice to stretch out, because she was feeling her true full size. So we'll expand out into space, feel our true size, and then I'll come back in, and what we'll be doing is bringing back all of your light, all of your consciousness to be fully embodied in that infinite space within each of us. We have been led to believe that we're a finite vessel, that we get empty or full. I have found in my experience through this multidimensional expansion that we create a loop of energy, an infinity loop of energy. And so energy really is meant to flow through us like a river. And once you establish that connection and have your torus flowing around you with that infinite flow of energy, you can expand out as much as you want and go anywhere you like. But a lot of people have had energetic trauma not embodied, and have reason to be afraid to be fully embodied from their past experiences, or when we start looking for higher consciousness and wanting to expand our consciousness, we think we need to leave our body to accomplish that. And in reality, we have this infinite space within us that is just as infinite as the space without. And so our place of power is our center, our solar plexus, this physical vessel where we get to fully embody our light. So that's what I'll do, is I will lead you through that journey, and feel free to lay down, turn off the lights, cover your eyes, close your eyes, most definitely. I am wearing the lovely rose quartz pendant that Simone Hawthorne made. And then when I'm doing my sessions with you guys, I just wanted to show you, this is my rose quartz that I put on my solar plexus. And I use that to connect with you and help amplify your energy with mine. So the intention here is that we're going to, and I have to take off my glasses for some reason. They don't want me to wear glasses or things on my head every time. Yes, I hear you, my bosses, my galactic bosses. So the intention here is that we're going to build our love spheres. We will expand out to hug Gaia and say hello to her. Establish an infinity loop of energy in your system. Then journey out into space a little bit so you can feel your true energetic size. And then we'll reverse the process and bring everybody back into their body for full embodiment. So go ahead and close your eyes, and I'm going to close my eyes too, just because it makes it easier for me to visualize. Plus, I couldn't read the clock if I wanted to right now, but I will put that there. There we go. So I can just, once I get in this state, it's easy for me to just stay there a really, really, really long time. So go ahead and close your eyes for me, and I'm going to start us in with the breathing. We're going to be breathing in through our nose Filling up the lungs and pausing, and then out through our mouth. And pausing. Breathing in and pausing. Breathing out and pausing. As you breathe in, you are breathing in pure source energy through your crown. It looks like liquid light, moves like water but glows like light, almost like liquid opals. Pouring into your physical body, your energy body, your emotional body, your auric field, that infinite space within you. Drawing in that source energy into your system, feeling that warm, loving, supportive, delicious source energy. Continuing our breathing and breathing in the source energy as we become filled with that light. I want you to think of something or someone that you love that brings you absolute joy and bliss, childlike wonder, glee, true unconditional love. As you're breathing, let that feeling well up inside you. And now when you breathe in source energy, you will start breathing out this rose quartz unconditional love frequency. Like a beautiful mist or fog, warm and loving and supportive. Slowly filling the space around you. Building a perfect sphere that is large enough to contain all that is you in this physical embodiment. Allowing that unconditional love to flow from you and create that sphere. Know that this sphere is a frequency that transmutes all density, anything that is not of the highest good. Everything it touches, it brings only love to, and you are fully protected in this space. If you choose, the sphere will remain with you, and you can engage it anytime you like through this breathing pattern. If you want to center yourself, clear the space around you, send love to others to improve a stressful situation, it is all capable of this. You are the perfect center of this sphere. And you feel a oneness with everything contained within this sphere, both the animate and inanimate energy around you. Now as you breathe out, expand out your sphere at a pace which is comfortable for you. See it spreading out farther away from your physical body, containing you perfectly and safely, covering the room you're in. Take a moment as you continue your breathing to feel that unconditional love. You can almost feel your molecules and all the molecules around you dancing together in perfect harmony, separate but united. Expanding out larger now to cover your building. Slowly growing larger and larger, covering your neighborhood. Bringing love and forgiveness and warmth and transmuting beautiful rose quartz healing energy to everything you encounter. Still the perfect center of this sphere. Covering your town or city. Not exactly aware of all of the consciousness around you, but just knowing that all of that energy is present and feeling your love, comforting them without having to connect, without having to forgive or accept. Breathing in and breathing out. Your sphere is growing so large that you could not see with your human eye anymore. You feel the oneness with the earth beneath you, the sky above you, forests and mountains and deserts and eventually oceans. Feel that sphere which is connected to your energy, merging with the oceans and coming in contact with so many beautiful beings that inhabit the earth. Whales and flocks of birds, maybe a wolf pack running through a forest, some antelope in a desert, the dolphins swimming by with their joyful chatter. Continuing to breathe in source energy and breathe out. Your sphere expanding larger and larger until, before you know it, it's so large you are covering the earth. You feel the sensation of the oneness with the entire planet and all of that energy that is Gaia consciousness, Terra, Mama Pachu. As you breathe in and breathe out love now from this position, send all of that love to the Mother. That love and gratitude, thanking her for the home that she gives us in these bodies and on this planet. All the beautiful life, the plants and animals, the diversity of people. Gratitude for our nourishment, the air we breathe, all that she provides, all of that security and support. Soon you start to feel that warm, unconditional love flowing back through you, starting at the bottom of your feet, where your Earth Star chakra is located. Gaia is sending back all of that love and gratitude to every one of you, filling your body, moving up your legs and your hips and through your chakra system and your torso, filling your whole body with that unconditional love and connecting with source energy. The mother is so excited to see so many of you here right now. This is our first group consciousness anchoring, and I have not encountered this from her before, and it's very beautiful. She feels our love and sends so much love back. She is really thrilled and happy, and like you might imagine at a family reunion where all her children come home, she is rushing from person to person, giving them a personal squeeze in her goddess form. Feeling that love embracing you and comforting you and supporting you. Completely unconditional. So grateful for all of your contributions in this and all of your other human experiences. Know that we have now established an infinity loop of energy that flows through you, from Source, through you, to Gaia, and back through you and to Source. A perfect flow of energy, never ceasing, never overwhelming. A river of pure energy and unconditional love flowing through you. As we prepare to expand out into space, know that you are invited and welcome to return here in any way you choose, engaging the breathing, expanding out your love sphere, and having your own personal moment with Gaia. Now as we breathe in source energy and you breathe out love, we are powered with this infinity loop of energy and this amplification to expand our sphere out past the magnetosphere and the ionosphere, out far enough so that we are covering the moon and the earth, maybe some meteors or comets or asteroids flying about. Totally safe in this sphere. Each of you in your energy, astral form, comfortably and safely floating in this beautiful, beautiful solar system we get to live in. You look to the side and you notice that the moon seems smaller somehow. But take a moment to look at yourself out here floating next to the moon, all of us together. And notice that the moon isn't smaller, but you are larger. You are your true size, very similar to the size of the moon. Feel how wonderful it is to be fully expanded and have this energy loop flowing through you, giving you peace and bliss and safety and protection. From this place out here in space, you can use this love sphere to travel as far and wide as you like. You can visit other dimensions, other timelines, other earth realities. This infinity loop of energy will remain with you. I'm going to call in the muses. They will station themselves around you one at a time. This is not a long process, so do not feel like you have missed some part of it. They can be more than 12. Everyone gets their own set of 12 muses around them like the hours of a clock. They are using that beautiful energy flow through you, that perfect infinity loop, to paint in a synchronized dance, overlapping concentric infinity loops around you, creating an energy torus with an infinite flow of energy, with you as its perfect center. So beautiful. If you can take a moment to see yours, visualize yours, feel yours, what it might look like, how yours might be particular to you. Normally we would spend more time in this space, but with a group this is sufficient for us to have the torus constructed. All together like shooting stars, the muses depart. And now we're ready to reverse the process. Still breathing in source energy, but when you breathe out, we're going to slowly bring our love sphere, which contains our torus, our energy body, all that is our consciousness, perfectly contained in this unconditional love sphere. As we breathe out, it slowly returns closer to our bodies, little by little, at a pace which is comfortable. Know as you do this that you can return to this expansion anytime you choose. It is safe to be fully embodied in your human vessel. There's plenty of room. You have tended this beautiful garden that is you so carefully and made space for all that is you. As our love sphere and our torus and our energy body slowly go back into that infinite space within our human vessel, just know that all of that energy, all of that size, all of that grandeur remains and will be inside you permanently now, if you choose. From this place of full embodiment that we're creating, you have access to all of your personal consciousness and power. You have the ability to travel as you would like. As we get closer into Gaia, take a moment to pause and give her another squeeze and feel that love coming back to you, that love that is always with you now, with this torus that we have built and these spheres that we have created that contain you. If this is something for somebody, I'm going to really laugh about this, but for some reason, she said, "Y'all come back now, you hear?" Which is not something she's ever said before. Enjoying the visceral, delicious feeling of contacting the earth and the water and the wind and the birds and the whales. Smelling that pine and cedar and redwood smell of a forest after a rainstorm. The warmth of the earth and the bedrock underneath us. Slowly and gently letting your spheres come back closer to your body. All of that light, your Titan size, your Taurus, this infinity loop of energy all contained within. Returning to whatever set point feels natural to you. It might be 6 feet or 12 feet or a football stadium. It really is up to you entirely, you and your highest self. You make the rules of your human experience and are fully empowered to do so. As you return to normal breathing and enjoy this delicious, blissful feeling, I'm going to remind you of a few things. Sometimes as all of your light settles into you for full embodiment, you may have little sensations or feelings over the next week or two. You might have thoughts come up for healing or have feelings that are just trapped in your body that need to be released. There's no reason that any of this should be re-traumatizing or uncomfortable. Just observe it and note that you are releasing this from yourself and the collective. I like to repeat that 3 times. I feel like it resets my brain and my energy system. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and take a moment to drink some water. Enjoy this feeling in your body. I'm going to go quiet my whales and then turn on this. Here we go. There we are. So if anyone wants to speak or type questions, or you would like to come on camera at all, I can answer any questions you might have. Thank you for doing that with me, this consciousness anchoring. This was the first group experience that I've had, and it was really lovely and different than what I have experienced from Gaia in the one-on-one sessions. It was really wonderful. You all have beautiful, lovely energy. Oh, sorry. I was just checking my phone because everybody's so quiet to make sure people didn't disappear. So does anyone have any questions about all of that? About the nervous system or ways you can... Oh, you're welcome, Melina. I'm sorry. I should realize everybody might be blissed out right now because I know I sure get blissed out after having that experience, especially the individual sessions, which depending on what somebody has going on can take quite a while. Oh, good. I'm glad it was awesome. You're welcome, Teresa. I'm really happy that everybody was here. Oh, you're welcome. So what I'm going to do, because if anybody wants to stay and do our little meditation practice, where we shut off the cameras and the mics, we set a timer for 20 minutes, and meditate and then see kind of what we all get and compare notes afterwards. It's been, oh, thank you, Odie. It's been, that was awesome. Oh, I had an emotional moment with, oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Thank you for all of this great feedback. For anyone who's watching this later, that seemed to feel very nice for everybody. So I hope those who watch this later has a great experience too. And to everyone who was here tonight and everyone who does this later, just know that you truly can do this on your own. Just listen to this if you need a guide, and soon it will become second nature to you. Some really fun things you can try once you have that love sphere with you and you get used to working with it and engaging in the breathing. Let's say you're in the bank and the line is really long and everybody's mad and cranky. That's a good time. And you just watch. You'll see them. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Someone's glad I recorded it. You can see how people's attitudes and posture and everything will just change. And before you know it, like, people will be having nice conversations with each other. It's like it turns it into a nice, oh, well, we're all in line, but we're going to be nice and social. One day I grabbed this guy in it. It was as if it was just an experiment, but he was doing that aggressive thing in traffic, where for absolutely zero reason, because you're going to be right next to each other at the next light, or that sort of situation. So he was doing the weaving in and out thing and just being real aggressive and crabby. And I thought to myself, I'm sure he's probably not having a great day, and that is part of what is affecting his poor driving behavior. So I thought, let's see if this works while I'm moving. And I engaged that love sphere, and I kid you not, it was like I trapped him in a tractor beam and he just couldn't get away. Like, he was just right next to me. Like, the road even opened up. He could have taken off into his however fast he was trying to go, but instead he just kind of stayed. And then when we got up to the next light and I was next to him, I could just feel that he had shifted. And so I joke now that I'm cursing people with going out in their day and doing nice things for others. So I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you, everyone, for watching now or later. And I really hope this finds you well. If you would like to have a private session, you can find me all over the place. The link to my link tree will be in the notes of this episode on my YouTube channel.